Dzień dobry wszystkim, witam na kolejnym spotkaniu online w ramach naszego cyklu webinariów organizowanego wspólnie przez Program English Teaching i Insta.Ling. Spotykamy się co tydzień we wtorek, czasami w inne dni tygodnia, tak jak zdarzyło się to wczoraj. Natomiast wszystkich, którzy chcą uczestniczyć w seminariach, zapraszamy do aktywnego w nich uczestnictwa. Jesteśmy do Waszej dyspozycji w każdy wtorek od godziny 18:00. Dziś również nieco w drodze wyjątku od 18:30, ale 60-minutowe spotkanie właśnie się zaczyna. Dzisiaj naszym gościem i prowadzącą będzie Anna Olewińska-Byliniak, italianistka, obecnie głównie nauczycielka i lektorka języka angielskiego. Pani Anna ukończyła studia filologiczne i pedagogiczne na Uniwersytecie Warszawskim oraz już w innej uczelni studia podyplomowe na kierunku Praktyczna Psychologia Motywacji. Zapraszamy zatem do skorzystania z jej wiedzy i doświadczenia, a dzisiaj będzie nam opowiadać o tym, jak oceniać i testować osiągnięcia uczniów w zakresie kompetencji językowych z wykorzystaniem dostępnych narzędzi online. W trakcie całego spotkania do Państwa dyspozycji jest czat. Możecie zadawać pytania, możecie komentować to, co słyszycie. Zapraszamy do aktywnego uczestnictwa. Również pod koniec naszego godzinnego spotkania przewidzieliśmy sesję pytań i odpowiedzi, w której będziecie mogli zadać pytania, które będą Was nurtowały po tym naszym dzisiejszym spotkaniu. Przypominam, że wszyscy aktywni uczestnicy projektu Insta.Ling mogą uzyskać certyfikat uczestnictwa w szkoleniach online. Wystarczy 3 razy zameldować się na szkoleniu i podpisać się w cudzysłowie na elektronicznej liście obecności. Adres do listy widoczny jest teraz na ekranie, za chwilę również będzie wklejony na czacie. Zapraszam i życzę miłego odbioru.
Okay, dziękuję bardzo. Okay, so good evening everyone. My name is Anna Olewińska-Byliniak and today we are going to talk about ocenianie i testowanie osiągnięć uczniów w zakresie kompetencji językowych z wykorzystaniem dostępnych narzędzi online. So basically we are going to talk about different ways on how to assess, good evening everyone, on how to assess and test students' accomplishments when it comes to their language competencies using tools that are available online and, what is important, tools that are completely free. Yeah, so nothing that I'm going to mention today is like premium. Of course, there are premium versions, but I'm going to talk about free online tools. About this webinar, about this presentation, first of all, we are going to start with some psychological side, because I think that it's a great start. Always, every time when we talk about assessment and our students, to take care of their psychology. Yeah, so first of all we are going to discuss stages of transition, stages of change, and then we are going to move to more practical side. So I'm going to tell you about tools that teachers use to do online testing. What do they assess, what do they measure and how, and later in the most practical part of this presentation I'm going to show you how to create a test and how to create a worksheet using 2 websites, so liveworksheets.com and Google Forms, and that would be it. So let's go. Yeah, first of all, as I said, we have to always remember about psychological side of every change, of everything that is happening, because I think that we can all agree that the situation that we are in, actually since March, yeah, because in March we had this first lockdown, the situation is very difficult, both for us and for our students. So this is why we need to know something more about stages of transition. I think that it's a good way to start thinking about our students. So maybe you know how many stages of transition we have. How many stages? 2, 5, 7? Who knows? I'm looking at comments. Okay, so if you don't know, that's good, because you can learn something new. So in psychology, we have 4 stages of transition. As you can see, there is stage 1, so denial. Yeah, so this is the situation when we find out about, let's say, lockdown. Yeah, exactly, 4. Thank you for the comment. Yes, we find out about lockdown, or we find out about anything that's going to happen, and we don't believe in it. Yeah, we question this change. We just work and live as usual, and we just, I don't know, it's not happening. Yeah, we deny this situation. This is the first phase, and let's say the worst one. But luckily, after stage 1 comes stage 2, so resistance. Yeah, maybe not luckily, because still this is the phase when we feel a lot of negativity. Yes, in English today. So there will be a lot of negativity, a lot of productivity dips we are going to feel. So first we deny the change, then, okay, we acknowledge the change. Okay, there is something going on, but we don't want it. Yeah, we don't want it. So then we go to stage 3. So we explore. Yeah, we start to feel better with the situation. We do experiments, we seek information or answers, and that was the moment during this first lockdown when we could see in the forums, on the Facebook groups, that we were looking for new tools. We were looking for new information. Okay, so how do you do this? How do you do that? Yeah, so we try. This is also a moment when we feel uncertain, and yet we feel also very excited. Stage 4, so the last stage, so the end of our transition, is commitment. So we accept the change. We say, okay, we know it is happening, we are okay with that. And what's more, we focus on the future. We start to set new goals, we start to plan, we say, okay, here's the change, yeah? I am aware of it, and I am ready to do something. So that was, I mean, there was stages of transition, very briefly, but why am I talking about this? Because we have to remember that even if we are on the stage 4, our students can be on a stage 2, for example. Yeah, so we have to keep that in mind, that everyone goes through these stages in a different pace. Yeah, so we need to keep that in mind. We need to take care of our students as well. So yeah, remember, because it's very, very important, every student, every person is going through change in a different way. So we have to keep that in mind while planning activities and our learning process. Yeah. So today I'm going to talk about a lot of tools and online ways to assess our students. But before we use any of these, just let's think. Yeah. So are they ready? Are they ready? Are they in a good stage for that? So now let's go to practical part, and let's go to online tools. So how do teachers cope with online teaching and assessment? So first of all, where do I get this information? I have to say, I just collected it from online forums, from Facebook groups, also from my teacher friends, also from my students. Yeah, because I am a teacher in a private school, but also in a language school. So I ask students. Yeah, so okay, so how do you work at school? Yeah, what do your teachers use? I don't know, to make a test for you. So that's how I managed to collect some information that I'm willing to share today with you. And now we are going to start with some basic activities that we can assess. Okay. So first of all, let's look at these things as they are opportunities to give our students a good mark, yeah, a good grade. So, for example, first of all, we can just give, I don't know, pluses, points, whatever you use for their performance. So if a student is very active, if a student is willing to learn, to cooperate with us, let's give him, I don't know, a plus. 3 pluses is a 5. Yeah, so we've got 1 more mark. So let's appreciate our students in that way, because it's the easiest way to get a mark. Then we can also assess oral answers, but of course this is possible when we can connect with our students in a real time. Yeah, because if we don't have a chance to meet with them or meet with them, it's impossible for us to listen to their oral answers. So if we have a chance, oral answers are great. But I'm not talking about you know, the situation that is, let's say, hostile. So, okay, so number 4 today, tell me this and that. No, let's make it more friendly. Yeah, so let's make it more, okay, so who wants to share something with us? Who wants to talk? Who wants to speak? This way, we encourage our students to speak more. And as you know, communication and communication skills are like very, very important. So why not appreciate our students when they want to talk? Then the thing that I personally hate, so photos of tasks. I know that sometimes it's inevitable. So I know that sometimes we don't have a choice, yeah, and students have their tasks and they send us photos or scans, but it's okay. I mean, I don't like it because for me it's I have to print it. I mean, if I get a photo, I have to print it, and I don't like it. It's not eco. Or I have to store it in a folder, and then I have to, you know, put my marks on a photo, and that is not always very comfortable and not easy, because sometimes scans or photos are of a bad quality, and it can be a nightmare. So I don't like it, but sometimes we just have to do it. But if you decide to give marks or grades for this, that's fine. What's important? Just find your way to do it. So, okay, decide that, okay, all of my photos, all of my students' photos are going to this folder, or I'm going to print them. Yeah, so keep that in order. I think that is very helpful to, I don't know, to mark who sent me the photo or who didn't. I know that it's hard, but if we manage that, it can be a good way. Next thing about both e-teaching and assessment, because as you can see, it's not all, the title is not only how the teachers cope with assessment, it's also e-teaching, because we can of course assess and give marks for that, but we can also teach using all of these activities. So presentations, I think that they are great, and students are very creative and they love these effects in presentations. So I really like presentations because they sometimes make me laugh, because they are very funny and clever. I mean, laugh in a good way. And when we let our students to be creative, they can they can be creative, and we can also appreciate that. We can also give them good marks for it. So I think that presentations are great. And the topic, anything, yeah, we can of course give them some freedom. So I don't know, make a presentation about your hobby or about anything you want or about you, but also we can say, okay, so please make a presentation about some grammar, yeah, or vocabulary. Yes, try to present the vocabulary from this unit in an interesting way. And I believe that they can surprise us. So yeah, presentations, I love them. The same happens with videos. Of course, it may seem advanced, but yeah, we cannot forget that nowadays our students, they have their smartphones, they use TikTok, Instagram, and they really know a lot about making videos. So I think that if our group is capable of doing them, it's a good idea to let them, yeah? So just we can, again, just like with presentations, we can give them some freedom. So, okay, so make a video about whatever you want, but of course it's better to give them some topic, right? So, I don't know, you can make a video about, I don't know, situation in a restaurant, yeah, and they can do some drama, acting, so that's a perfect, perfect tool. But also, I don't know, if we cannot talk to our students in real time, maybe they can make a video of them giving a speech. Yeah, and this way we can assess their oral answer. So again, creativity is a key here, and sky is the limit, as we like to say. Next thing that is very, very interdisciplinary, there are projects. Yeah, so I'm not talking about projects like, okay, make a poster. No, I'm talking about something that is more, let's say, vast. Yeah, so a project can be something that happens for a long time. I mean, our students can make it in a group. Of course, everything they can make individually are in a group, but with projects they can make a video and make a presentation, and they can, I don't know, make worksheets or online worksheets for other students, or they can create Kahoot. Again, sky is the limit. And project can be about some bigger categories, right? So, for example, okay, so let's make a project about being green or about environment. And this is just great. And during, you know, the times of online teaching, during lockdown, projects are great because they keep them busy. Yeah, but they spend time, I don't know, in front of their computer or books. It's also good to give our students good sources, yeah, to help them with projects, and they can spend this time more effectively and you know, not just playing games, but doing something that is important and good for them. And the last thing that I was surprised to hear about, actually, is parents printing tests. So I found out that one way to do tests in classes during lockdown was to send tests to parents and give them responsibility for it. So what's happening in this situation? Parents are printing the test. They, you know, they set everything. So they prepare the time. So, okay, you've got like 40 minutes to complete it. And they are taking care of it. Of course, it can happen only if we have, you know, a small class, or when we have a good contact with parents and we trust them, because I know and I am aware that it's not possible with everyone. And actually that leads me to the next point of this presentation. So that like any activity that we choose should be chosen based on our needs, our students' needs, yeah? So it's not like, okay, so projects are great, so I'm going to do only projects now. No, I mean, if we don't need them, because we've got a lot of very, very interesting activities, we don't have to, yeah? What we also need to remember about is technical capabilities, because I know that it's easy to say, okay, so let's go and make a video, right? For us, it may be okay because we've got smartphones, we've got a good internet and everything, but we have to remember that there are students that, I don't know, they don't have laptops, they have only tablets they can use, or they are not capable of creating something. Yeah, so before we give them a task, we have to check, is it okay? Are they capable of it? And on the other hand, if we are capable of manage this situation, and if we are able to help them, yeah, if they have any questions, so yeah, we should check needs, technical capabilities, and resources. Yeah, so we have to think, okay, do they have anything, everything they need to do it? Yeah, are we equipped properly so I can do this activity with them? So yeah, we have to keep that in mind. That let's just listen to what we can do and to what our students can do, because I believe that we can, working in one school, we can do different things with different classes because we have different kids there. So now I'm going to talk about even more detailed tools. So about e-teaching and assessment, before I was talking about activities, and now I'm going to focus on online tools that were the most common, yeah, so that are most commonly used by teachers in the times of online teaching. I'm using, not all of them, but I'm using live worksheets and Google Forms, and I'm going to show you how to create a test using these tools later. Then I'm going to also talk about Insta.Ling now, because I have to admit, I didn't use it before, I've just started, but I think that it's a really, really great tool, because it's for free. I mean, everything here is for free, but it's for free, it's very intuitive. We can create classes, and we don't need our students' emails in order to do it. And what's great about it is that it helps our students to be regular. Yeah, so we can generate reports, and we can see if our students revise regularly. Yeah, so do they visit Insta.Ling every day? So we can see reports, and that's the first thing that we can assess. And next part, we can also do short tests and tests using Insta.Ling, and it's all for free. So I think it's great. And what was a big wow factor for me was that there are lists of words. Yeah, of course, we can create our list of words, but there are lists of words that are ready and prepared before. And for example, I use English class published by Pearson, and there are lists of words of every unit. Yeah, so you don't have to, see it and create a list of words, it's already there. So I think that it's great, and it's a great tool also for students to work on their vocabulary. So I've just started, but I'm a big fan, and I recommend installing. That's like definite. And I see that they are with us, so don't be afraid to ask questions. Yeah, and so moving forward, there is also, I mean, tools that were mentioned by teachers were also Socrative and Test Portal. So Test Portal, something for tests mainly, as we can see by the name. Also Kahoot. I like Kahoot. I love Kahoot. My students love Kahoot as well. But of course, after some time, this music is like driving me crazy. But it's a very, very nice tool, both for teaching and assessment, because we can. I mean, I use Kahoot for teaching purposes, right? To revise some grammar or vocabulary. But we can also make tests using Kahoot. Yeah, if our students know Kahoot, we can just give them marks for it. Yeah, because there are reports, and we can ask them just to, you know, write their real names, not some emojis or something. So it is possible, and it is a nice tool to do it because it's very friendly, and students usually love it. Also, I didn't have a chance to work on Microsoft Teams, but I know that it's extremely popular. I used to work, and I still work, on Discord and Zoom and Skype, and also Google Classroom, but I've never worked on Microsoft Teams, but I know that it's a very, very complex solution, yeah, and there are tasks. Oh, I can see that Kahoot is great, but sometimes it's bad timing. What does it mean, bad timing? I mean, that it's not working properly, or what do you mean? If you do this live. Yeah, there's always a risk. So I recommend, I mean, when we decide to do a test using Kahoot, maybe it's a good idea to keep it short. Yeah, for example, I don't know, 5 questions or something like this. So the risk is to minimize the risk, yeah, of something going wrong. And we can also set the timing, like, you know, not for 10 seconds, but 20 or 30. And I have to say that I used Kahoot during lockdown, and there were no problems. I mean, I checked before if students had problems, and everything was okay. So that's why I decided to do it. But of course, first it's better to check. And of course, if something goes wrong, we need to be prepared, and I don't know, send a student another Kahoot with, I don't know, similar questions or something like this. So yeah. Unfortunately, we have to be prepared for something like this. But if we check everything earlier, I think that it should be fine. So next tool is a word wall, and word wall is great. There are many different exercises, and we can also assess our students' performance on word wall, so that's great. And yeah, there are many exercises that are already there, yeah, so we can use them. Then quiz time. So quizzes and Quizlet. On Quizlet, more based on students' performance, but we can use these tools in order to create quizzes. And then there is a platform I haven't heard about before. So Eduello seems like a good solution, because a lot of students told me about this, that at school teachers were using this website. Okay, I see a comment. If student has bad internet, he has few seconds for question. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. If we have a student that we know that he has bad internet, it's better to not do it using Kahoot. Yeah, we have to check before, and of course, internet can get worse in a second. But I think that it is possible for us. So if we know that we have, I don't know, a small group, and I don't know, everyone has a good internet, that's fine. Oh, I can see that quizzes is much better than Kahoot, and you can create classes, give homework. Yeah, of course. I'm not talking, I mean, I'm not saying that something is better or something is worse. I'm only saying what I'm using. Yeah, because actually that's a good point, because that's what my next slide is about. Because first of all, students need to know the tool before it is used for testing, and then we have to focus only on a couple of tools and use them. So, for example, I know that Wordwall is great. I know that quizzes and Quizlet are great because I heard about it, but I decided to use something else. Maybe it will change, of course. But I think that it's important to know some tools and then kind of to stick to them, because this way we have more time and we can explore these tools that we know, and also we don't waste time with our students. Yeah, so it's important for them that they know the tool before it is used for testing. So before I use Kahoot for a short test or something, my students know Kahoot, and I'm sure that they feel comfortable with it. The same happens with any other websites. For example, live worksheets. We can do tests on live worksheets, but we can also do some regular exercises. Yeah, this is, I mean, why we should do it? Because as we know, tests and short tests are sometimes very stressful for our students, even if we are very friendly and, you know, encouraging and appreciating. Some students are very, very stressed every time, so they need to feel comfortable with the platform. So they are not stressed about, okay, how is it working? What am I going to do now? No, they have to feel okay and safe and secure with the platform, so they can focus only on the test. Yeah, not on, okay, what do I have to do? What do I have to click? Then, yeah, as I said, it's important to focus only on a couple of tools and use them. There are many, many different tools. And of course, I mentioned the ones that were the most common, let's say, or the most popular. But of course, I'm sure that there are many, many more different tools, ideas. So what do we need to do? We just have to find out what's the best for us and for our students. And I hope that today I will help with that by showing you in a more detailed way what something about live worksheets and Google Forms. So, oh, one more question. I'm sorry, I didn't want to be distracted by the chat, but I really like when participants are so active. So, do you surprise students with tests? No, my students, they always know. I am a kind of teacher that, I mean, I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like my students to be surprised. I want them to know, to be able to prepare. I want them to feel good, and I think that surprising them, it's just not a good idea. Yeah, because it's just stressful, and stress is not good for our motivation. Yes, I am, and. Yeah, one more thing, very important, I think, is I'm going to show you how to create the test using live worksheets and Google Forms, and I will do this quickly, but don't worry, because instructions will be uploaded after the webinar on the website. So don't worry if you lose some point or anything, it will be there. Okay, so have you got any questions about this part, or can we move on to more practical things and creating tests? Okay, I don't see questions, so let's go to worksheets and live worksheets. I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, and I should warn you that from now I'm sharing my whole screen, so I can't see the chat. Okay, so if you have any questions, I will take a look after I stop sharing my screen, and then I will answer them. So don't worry, but now I just can't see them. So liveworksheets.com, a great website. As you can see, there are many interactive worksheets, and today we are going to find out how to make one. So what we have to do, we just have to, of course, sign up. Of course, there is some premium version, but I use only free one, so so that's good, and it's perfect. I don't need anything more. What we have to do, we have our worksheets, students, workbooks, etc., and I will show you what are we doing. Of course, it's only for testing reasons, so that's why there aren't so many tests. So this is what we are going to do. First of all, I always put something like this. Of course, as I said, students know the tool before the test, but I think that it's important just to write it again in case, I don't know, someone forgets. So we just put the instruction on how to send this paper, so you can read it. As you can see, it's very intuitive. So what's next? We can create something like this. We can create something like this. Let's say something like that. Then we can create open task. Yes, so in my opinion, and they can write their opinion. Of course, in this case, we can give points. I mean, the system will know when the answer is correct, because it's very easy. Yeah, we just have to set it properly. But when it comes to open questions, open tasks, it's impossible. It's only the system. Yeah, we have to read it on our own. We can also put a video in here. Yeah, so that's it. We can also do something like this. So thousands of people have eaten pizza. The pizza has been eaten, for example. And then exercise 6, I mean, students just, they love it. When they see it, they're like, wow. And this is the test. And they say, wow. So it's a really nice thing. We have to do it like this. So yeah, remember, it's only a test, so exercises are, you know, only exemplary. So, and then if they finish, they click finish. Email my answers. Of course, there is also an option, check my answers, but I always tell my students that no, you don't need to click it because the answers are wrong. I mean, you won't know anything. So they have to enter their name, their group, or class, subject, and our email, and send, and that's it. So as you can see, very easy, very funny, and I personally, I like live worksheets a lot. So how to do it? First, we need to click on Make Interactive Worksheets, and there is also a tutorial. Yeah, so if you speak English, you can just, you know, read it and to watch videos. It's really, really intuitive. And what's more important, the website is only in English and Spanish, but of course, worksheet may be about anything. I will show you why. So, make interactive worksheets, get started. First, upload your worksheet. So actually, there is also a step 0, because first of all, we have to create our PDF. We have to create our worksheet. As you can see, we've got formats here. PDF is the best. Yeah, my file is already prepared. So yeah, and upload. Ta-da! And it's here. We can work on that. So now we've got PDF. What do we have to do to make it more interactive? Here, we don't need to do anything. It just stays like that. We don't need them to write their name because they write it when they click finish and send, yeah? The only thing that we have to do here is to make this text box. Take a look. We just have to do this, and it's very pleasant, so so it's not a bad thing. And as you can see, this is the exercise with drag and drop. So here we have bad, so drag 1, drop 1, because we want this to be here. And the same happens here. And take a look. If we make a mistake, we just have to click check. Yeah, and we see where we have the mistake. So of course it's drop and etc. etc. So it's drag 3, drop 3. And we've got our first exercise. So this, yeah, this one. Now we have to choose the correct options. So again, the only thing we can do is to make text box. So we have to do it in a place that we want to be interactive. So what do we have to do? We have to write select. Commands are also in tutorial, but as you can see, they're very intuitive. Select no, select yes. When there is a yes, it means that this is a good answer. So again, select, oh, I don't know what here. So let's say it's no, eye contact, select yes. And that's it. And this, in this case, when a student selects a correct answer, so the one with yes, he or she gets a point. Here, open task, and the only thing we need to do is just do this. Yeah, and now they can just write in it. Of course, it can be checked by system because it's not intelligent. It can't read the text, so we have to do it. But we can also skip. We can always skip the open task in this kind of tests. But if we don't want to, there is a possibility. The video, and that's the easiest part because yeah, here we have a place for video. So we just have to make a big box. We just have to copy the link from YouTube. And that's it. Let's check. Ta-da! Again, it is here. So everything's fine. And we don't even need to write anything here. Then, if we want the system to check answers that are written by students, we can write down good answers here. So thousands of people have eaten the pizza. The pizza has been eaten, or I don't know, it's been eaten. If there is more than one correct answer, we can always do a slash and write, you know, all possible answers. Sometimes it's hard, yeah, because students are very creative and sometimes they write something that is correct, but we didn't think of it. So I think that, of course, it's good that the system can count points for us, but it's always good to double check sometimes, especially with open tasks when they have to write something. And a book is being read. And now if someone writes something like this, it will be marked as a good answer. And now the pencil, and again with this. So in order to make it interactive, and we join, join this, this is it, join one, and we have to join, so the command is the same, join, and that's it. Here we also have listen and answer the questions. I added it, I've just added it before the webinar because I thought that it's also interesting. We just have to write play MP3. And here we've got upload your MP3 file. Okay. So this is only the example. Upload. And it should be here. Yeah. All right, so it looks like our test is ready. So we have to check it first. Yeah, it's preview. So this is how it's going to look. Looks okay. Maybe it's not so pretty, but it looks very useful. And if everything's okay, we can just click on this, so save. And the next question, would you like to share your worksheet? We can share it with others. So everyone can, type it and search it and use it. And also you can keep it private. So a title is just save. And this is the link to our test, and we can just send it to our students. And also it is here in my worksheets. Yeah, as you can see, there are two testowe, but it's here. So yeah, it's working. Building, gestures, something, video. Yeah, it's here. Working, perfect. And now we can also listen. And that is it. I really like live worksheets. I think that's it's a very, very useful tool. And as you can see, quite easy. Okay, I'm going back to the chat. Okay. So students has to log in this platform. No, they don't need to. We just send them a link, and they send us their work, and they only write their name and surname, and that's it. So they don't need to make an account or anything, and it's for free. So I think that's great. Of course, they can create an account, and maybe it will make it more easy, but easier. But I didn't ask my students to log in on this platform, and it worked perfectly, really. I mean, they sent me a lot of tests this way. Yeah, live worksheets, great for assessment and also for teaching process. Okay, so now let's move to Google Forms. So something that we know, I mean, everyone who had to create an online survey or something like that probably knows Google Forms. But today we are going to talk about them in a different context. Yes, so in a context of a test. So I'm going to share my screen again. So again, I won't be able to see the chat, but don't worry, I will go back. So if you have a question, just write it down, and I will respond later. So. Okay, first of all, what do we have to do? We just have to open Google Forms, and here we are on this website. Of course, we need to have a Google account, so something on Gmail. But I think that it has so many advantages that it's worth it. What we have to do? We have to create a new form, and that's it. This one is empty, and we can add questions here, etc., etc. But I know that we don't have a lot of time, so we will focus and we will work on the one that is ready. Okay. So first, as you can see here, we've got purple form, and here colors are different. So yeah, let's start with visuals. It's very easy. Yeah, we can change the photo. We can leave it without the photo. Yeah, work and school, perfect. Or maybe now crayons. All right, and here it's more friendly for our students. Yeah, so we can play with the font, etc. But it's not so crucial. What I like about Google Forms that they are very, very easy to edit. Yeah, so in order to change the title, I just write it. Yeah, so wherever I click, it is changing. Yeah, so this is great. Here we can add a description, and here, if we want our students to give us their email address, we can hear it. I mean, we can have it here. But if we don't need it, we can just change settings and, you know, unclick it, let's say. So it's only up to you. If you want to, if you need their addresses, email addresses or not. So, so that's it. Next, how do we add questions? Just by clicking plus. And as you can see, we've got the question, different options or something like that. A single choice, multiple choice, a list. We can ask them to send a file. We can ask them to type a short answer, long answer. As you can see, there are lots of possibilities. And what's also important here, that this particular form is a test, because as you can see, we've got the answer key. Here, of course, it's name and surname, so we don't need to give points for that. But it is possible, and I will show you later how to do it. We can also put a video in here simply by clicking something else. So here is add question. Here we can import questions, add just title and description, so something like this. But we can also add a picture or add a film or a movie. And this is what we need to do. So we just have to copy, oh, sorry. We just have to copy a URL from YouTube most, yeah. And it's only also above, so we have Can You Trust Your Ears? Very interesting. So I recommend this video as well. So then we have question. This question is a single choice. As you can see, it's marked that it's required. Yeah, so student cannot send us back his form unless he or she replies to this question. So did you hear bar or var? And as you can see, answer key, we can say which answer is correct and how many points should be given to this. And we can also add a comment. Yeah, so if someone gives you the wrong answer, we can write something. If the answer is correct, we can also write something. So very, very nice. Then again, open task. And again, it's impossible to put the answer key here. Yeah, we have to check it on our own. But again, it is possible to do an open task here. Then the multiple choice. So again, we just have to put multiple choice here. And as you can see, answer key, both, I mean, these two answers are correct. There are 2 points for them. And again, we have a chance to give our comments. This one is also very nice because this is some kind of a net. And we've got 4 points here. And look, what we have to do is just, again, mark the correct answer, and that's it. And we've got, I mean, it's very intuitive, yeah? I mean, there are not too many things to write. You just have to write what's necessary, and that's it. If you want to, if you want the same exercise, you can also just duplicate that. And if you don't want it, you can just discard it. And then you can also, I don't know, ask them to set the time. So that's it. So this is a very easy test. We can think about different ways to use it, and I'm going to show you some options because there aren't many. And options and settings. So here, I mean, we saw it already, yeah, with email address, so we can just collect it or not. What I like about Google Forms is that, yeah, it's very simple, and if you are not sure, you can always find the answer. So if you want the confirmation of the answer, you can click it, etc. And in this option, students, they don't need to be logged in. If we want them to be able to give the answer only once, they have to be logged in. But I mean, I don't know any students that would like to write the test again. And then we can decide if they can edit answers. Of course, it's not a good idea, I think, or to see the charts with summary, etc. And the presentation, so we can, you know, mix the order of questions and show them link to another answers. I mean, it's optional. And then what's the most interesting? Tests. So if we don't click it, we don't have the answer key, we don't have points, and we can just only collect forms. But if we click, yeah, I want test, we can create answer key, and we can receive our forms already marked. And these are different options. So you can publish the score. I think that it's better to do it later, unless we have only options that, you know, you have to click like single or multiple choice. Yeah. In case of open questions, open tasks, I would recommend doing it later after checking it with your human eyes. Then what can users see? Questions with answers that weren't correct, or correct answers, or points. Yeah. So let's leave it this way. Here we can take a look. Yeah, very pleasant, let's say. It looks nice. Yeah, here's the hour, send, and that's it. What about the answers? Because here we have questions, and if we receive an answer, it goes right straight here. So we see charts and answers to questions, but if we want to see individual answers, we can always create an Excel file, let's say, on Google Drive, and all the answers are in one place. So we can see the time. So, okay, for example, someone finished this time, and we know if it was a good time or no. We can see the email address if we want them to give it. We can see the score if it's a test, name and surname. So these are our questions. Yeah, and here we can see the answers. And what we can do, we can check everything. For example, I don't know, using colors or something like this. So it's also nice if we have some, of course, open tasks. Yeah, if we have only, I don't know, single or multiple choice, we can just leave it to Google Forms. Yeah, and they will score them, and they will assess them for us. So yeah, one more thing. going back to live worksheets, because where we can find our students' replies in mailbox. Yeah, in mailbox, here you can see answers sent by students to your email, etc., etc. So, I believe that, okay, so let me just show you my presentation again. Okay, so live worksheets, yeah, we know it. Google Forms, yeah, checked. And in case of any questions, you can always email me directly, and my email address is on the screen. It's anna@theskills.pl. And yeah, as a summary, thank you for your participation, and I hope that you learned something new about online tools and ways to assess students, and I hope from my heart that you will find it very, very useful. So I think that it can be a time for questions if there are any. Okay. Oh, I see one more question that I didn't see before. If you share your test for other people, we will get emails with answers from people. No, it was about live worksheets. Yeah, I think that I've already responded because you wrote a, okay, nice. So, yeah, so thank you for your attention, and yeah, and stay healthy and stay strong, I guess. That this is the best thing to say for now, and I hope that yeah, we won't be forced to use these online tools again.
Dziękuję bardzo za bardzo ciekawe wystąpienie. Myślę, że tak praktyczne umiejętności, które dzisiaj zobaczyliśmy, przydadzą się wszystkim uczestnikom naszego spotkania. Jeszcze raz mocno zapraszam do uczestnictwa w kolejnych webinariach. Mam nadzieję, że znaczną ich część uda się nam poprowadzić w języku angielskim, tak jak dzisiaj. Dziękujemy bardzo Pani Annie za sprawną i bardzo konkretną część swojego wystąpienia. No i cóż, dziękujemy. Do widzenia.
Dziękuję bardzo. Pozdrawiam serdecznie. Do widzenia. I do zobaczenia. Mam nadzieję.